Okay, let's try it from here. Okay, so welcome to the Touhou 6 Embodiment of Scarlet Devil speedrun. This is going to be a speedrun of Marisa A. So, this is a shmup, a shoot 'em up. There are generally three ways to play this. The first and most common way is to go for a perfect run, where you don't need to die or use any bombs the entire run. The second most common way is to go for a score, which necessitates going much more slowly and being very clever. What we are going to show here is a third way, speedrunning it, trying to beat the game as fast as possible. Speedrunning it, the main way to speed it up is to use bombs to try and damage the bosses. In this game, you get 3 bombs per life, and you have to use them carefully, and you have to choose where to use them on bosses to do the most damage. And that does mean taking some intentional deaths, it does mean taking some intentional deaths to allow you to get more bombs, because you get 3 bombs per life, which is unique from other shooting games. So right here, the blue items are point items. They give you points. The red items are power up, and the max power that you can have is 128. So we want to reach that as fast as possible, so that we can do as much damage as possible. The point items are also important. You get extra lives at 10 million, 20 million, 40 million, and 60 million points. So getting the point items is important, because hitting those thresholds gives you 3 extra bombs each. In this game, they have attacks that are called spell cards and non-spell cards. At the top, you could see the name. The name indicates that that is a spell card. And in this run, we are going to be bombing basically every spell card. Here, in this stage, we're going to try and power up as much as possible. And we want to power up as much as possible before getting to the mid-stage boss. There are 6 stages in Touhou game. In this game, Easy only has 5 stages. Each stage has a mid-boss and an end boss. And the goal is going to be to take down the bosses as fast as possible. Each mid-boss will typically have 1 or 2 health bars, and the end boss will have increasing health. Each end boss will have increasing health bars as the run goes on. So this is Cerno, the mid-boss of stage 2, also the end boss. But right here we are going to try and damage Cerno down as fast as possible. And you saw that there was a pause there. If you kill Cerno fast enough, you actually do not have nothing spawns for a little bit. The big P's are worth 8 power, and now we have full power. So the point of collection is a point on the screen above which you will just grab all the score items and power items. This is important because the higher up on the screen, the more points you get for the point items. So we absolutely want to be grabbing them as high as possible. They're worth nearly double above the point of collection compared to just below. So here's Cerno's first non-spell. This is one of the only non-spells in the game that we're going to bomb, and that's just because the intro to it requires such big dodges away from everything that we want to avoid that. And that now we're going to start bombing every single spell card here, and that's going to be a theme for the run. So we are not going to be hitting the 60 million point threshold, which means that we do need to grab some point items, but we don't need to be especially aggressive about grabbing them. In this run, you can see that we were too aggressive about it, and it cost us some lives. So that was an interesting mechanic called a death bomb. If you get hit, you have 6 frames to use your bomb, and you will live. After the first one, you have 5 frames for the second, and so on. So this is a good farming point just for point items. Stage 3, the boss is Hong Meling, and her attacks are absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, the spell cards are often the most beautiful ones, and because we're just going to be bombing our way through most of them, the beauty is not going to be shown off as much as we would love. But this is a speedrunning marathon, This is for speedrunning marathons. And this is a speedrun, so we are going to be going fast. Even if it means that we don't get to see as much pretty. So here in this stage, you can see that we definitely make mistakes. We're too aggressive in going for point items, and we believe we take a death because of that. So here's the mid-boss. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to track on the bottom as closely as possible, and track and keep in the corner of our eye, keep an eye on where the boss is, so that we can continually be hitting the boss. This is one spell card that we do not bomb, and we chose not to bomb it because this is a spell card where she will just stay still in the middle, which means that she's easy to continuously hit. That is one of our 1-ups. We will be getting 3 more 1-ups throughout the run. 1 for 20 million, 1 for 40 million, and one for the stage 5 mid-boss. And based on that, we will get enough bombs. And this is a very, very nice set of point items. So you notice during the boss for this stage will be our first intentional death. We are out of bombs now, and we want to bomb for the spell card. So we are going to intentionally body ram some bullets so we can have more bombs. One thing that we should note. Yep, and here should be the body ram. Yep, intentional death to get more bombs, so we can just blast through the spell cards. One thing to note is that this run is incredibly, incredibly marathon safe. In order to be eligible for the leaderboards, you have to beat the game without continuing. But fortunately for a marathon, a backup where you do die and have to continue costs about 1 second. So even if it's not entirely leaderboard valid, it is incredibly, incredibly marathon safe. Probably one of the most marathon safe runs we could ever imagine, which is really, really nice. It's a nice, short, cute run. And the bombs went quite well there. Looked like we did not actually take a death there, but we definitely take a death in this stage, being too greedy for the point items, which was entirely unnecessary. And in the future, we need to do that. So, one of the really important things when playing Danmaku's bullet hells is knowing paying attention to which bullets are targeted and which are random. In this level, almost all of the bullets are targeted, which makes them very easy to dodge if you prepare well. All the bullets from the white spinny things are all targeted, which makes them very easy to dodge and misdirect them away from yourself. Like, we can easily just slowly move down the middle there because we know that they're all targeted. These are books. Books in this game are evil. We are in Patchouli's Knowledge's library. Oh yes, so the backstory of this game. A strange mist has appeared over the land, and we are investigating. It ends up being that there is a vampire who has put that out, so she can move more freely. But because this is easy, we're not actually going to get to fight Remelia Scarlet the vampire. Right now, we are in Remelia Scarlet's mansion, in the library, where we will be heading towards Patchouli Knowledge, the stage 4 boss. Right there, we made a very good decision not to chase the point score items, because we could have very easily died if we had done that. So we were very happy with our decision not to do that. Just playing it much more safe, because we're not going to hit the 60 mil point breakpoint anyway. So this is interesting. So when you kill the fairy on the left, all the bullets on the stage vanish. And so normally if you're playing just for safety, you want to wait until all the bullets have spawned and then kill it. Like that. But if you're going for score, you have to kill it as fast as possible so you can grab all the point items from the white spinny things. This is a case where memorizing it and knowing how to move is incredibly useful. For example, we know that they're all targeted, so we can just easily, freely move back and forth across the stage to grab the point items. These are more of the fairies, which will make all the bullets vanish when they get to low HP. Very, very safely going to grab those point items. So this is Patrolling Knowledge. Her first HP bar does not actually have a spell card in Easy, so we're going to see a Spinny Laser attack followed immediately by a Spinny Laser non-spell. Patrolling Knowledge's spell cards are all based on the 5 elements in 5 Chinese elements, and so you're going to see wind, and we're going to see a bunch of spell cards based on that. And we're going to immediately start bombing the spell cards once we get to there. Wood Sign, Silpher Horn. And the next we believe is... We're not going to say what we believe it is. We'll find out soon enough. Wood and Fire Sign, Forest Blaze. And this Patrolling Knowledge here is unique, and which spell cards you get from her depends on which character you're playing. She is the only boss in this game where that is dependent, and that is fairly unique to this Touhou game, because not many have that feature. So in this stage there are a lot of bullets. The ones from the top are all targeted, but the ones from the smaller fairies are all random. And we're just gonna play dodge down here and play it super safe so we don't die. Because we have all the points that we need. We don't need any more points. And now these are all targeted. 3 rounds are targeted, and then some random. So, for anybody wondering about the difficulty, there are 4 difficulties to this game: Easy, Normal, Hard, and Lunatic. And we would say that getting a 1 credit clear of Normal is about as hard as getting Grandmaster in Tetris, just to give an idea for the difficulties. Which means that to be able to effectively speedrun it, you have to be substantially better than just being able to occasionally clear it. So this card is incredibly easy if you play it safe, because they're all targeted. We have historically died many times here, so we decided to take this card very safe and not try and chase her across the screen, because that is an excellent way to die, versus this is incredibly easy and safe card if you don't do that. And here's our final 1-up of the run. So this is just randomness. We decided to bomb here because it started to look scary. We probably did not need to actually do that, but we were just feeling a bit scared there, and we have plenty of bombs remaining. And remember, this is easy. This is the lowest difficulty, the lowest bullet density. It gets substantially harder on normal, and substantially harder on every difficulty above that. And that was the end of the level. And now we have 1 boss to go before the run is over. So, again, we're going to not bomb all the non-spells. Marisa A, bomb, Stardust Reverie, has decreasing efficiency the more bullets are on screen. So that was a mistake. We tried to bomb there but didn't have any, so we took an intentional death so we could get more bombs. And we tried to bomb there, but unfortunately it wasn't very effective because there were so many on the screen, bullets on screen. And there were so many bullets on screen, and we didn't, and we weren't very close to the boss. So now we believe that we take an intentional death here to get more bombs, so we can make it so the rest of this goes much faster. This is one non-spell where there's just too much stuff on screen for bombs to really be effective. Like, we did a little bit of damage, but not very much with that. And now we have 2 more bombs and extra life, so we're just going to bomb our way through this. There's no need to play with this card. Just bomb our way through. And there we go. That is the run. That is the run. We have defeated Remilia's maid, who throws knives and has wonderful time powers.